A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. A person who doesn't read lives just one. Rightly said no. ये साल हमने जितना ही सोचा हो कि पिछले साल से बेहतर होगा, हमने जितना ही सोचा हो कि हम फाइनली बाहर जा पाएंगे, फाइनली मूव ऑन कर पाएंगे, एक फ्रेश स्टार्ट कर पाएंगे, वैसा कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. इफ़ एनीथिंग ये साल पिछले साल से भी कई ज़्यादा डिफ़िकल्ट रहा है फॉर अ लॉट ऑफ अस. There were terrible times. There were times when we could not go out of our houses. There were times when we were just stuck. There were ups and then there were more downs. But you know, when I look back at the happier times of this year, when I look back at the times when I was genuinely happy, many of those are related to books. Many of those are related to the times when I was reading, when I was lost in the pages of a good book. And this is what I've realized, that with a good book, you can lose yourself. You can forget stuff for a while. You can forget the worries of the world and you can forget your own worries. And जब ऐसा साल चल रहा हो, जब ऐसे times चल रहे हो ना, that is precisely what you need. You need to forget. You need an escape. And a good book can give you that. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Maitreyi and मैं और आप यहाँ बात करने वाले हैं एक बहुत ही लंबे टाइम के लिए. I hope it's a happy time. We will be talking about books and movies and art and education and health and all that stuff that matters. और आज हम जिस बारे में बात करने वाले हैं वो है all my reads of 2021. Now, कोई भी worst reads नहीं रही है because I am really good at DNFing the books that I do not enjoy. So अगर मैं कोई book पढ़ रही हूँ और अगर मुझे उसमें मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है तो I DNF it, that is do not finish that book. Because if you don't DNF the books, you are at a risk of going into a reading slump. You are at a risk of losing precious times that you can use to read great books. So I DNF the books that I do not like, and there was a time in January, I guess, when I DNF'd 10 books back to back because that's how we roll sometimes. But it's really very important to read what you enjoy and not go as per what other people are reading or what you are supposed to be reading, because you should read what you like. Now, I am not talking about course books. You have to read those books if you are supposed to be reading it. I'm just talking about novels, fiction, non-fiction, stuff like that. Now, we will be talking about all my books of this year, and all of them have been great reads. I have had such a great time reading this year and I am so excited to talk about that. I am very excited to hear what you have to say about those books because I'm sure ये इतने popular titles हैं कि आपने या तो इनके बारे में सुना होगा या आपने खुद ने पढ़ी होगी, and then we can have conversations about those books, which is what I love. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the books that helped me stay afloat. Let's talk about the books that I love from the depths of my heart. Let's begin. Are you a hopeless romantic? Or are you someone who thinks that everything from our emotions to feelings and love can be explained in terms of science? Well, the book that I am talking about is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, and oh my god, how do I explain it to you how beautiful and how magical this book is. So basically ये story है नताशा और डैनियल की. नताशा एक Jamaican immigrant है and she's living in New York, but her family is being deported back to Jamaica. Now, she is doing everything in her power, everything in her reach to stop that, because New York is the home that she has known all her life, as long as she can remember, and she doesn't want to go back to Jamaica because She hasn't been there since she was 12. She doesn't know the culture, she doesn't know the people, and this is her home. Daniel, on the other hand, is a poet. He's a dreamer at heart, and he's a Korean American boy, and he dreams to become a poet, a well known poet. But his family wants him to be a doctor. Now, he doesn't want to be a doctor, he wants to pursue his dream, but just for the sake of his family, he agrees to go for an interview for a Yale University. Now, that is where he meets Natasha. He bumps into her several times and he is drawn towards her. Now, let me tell you, they are contrasting personalities. Natasha is the kind of girl who is very realistic, who is very scientific. Like, she will explain to you why love happens in terms of physics and chemistry. She's the kind of person who believes that everything from our feelings to emotions to love itself can be explained scientifically. And Daniel, as I told you, is a dreamer at heart. He believes in love at first sight, he believes in fate, he believes in destiny, he believes in meant to be's. And he is drawn towards Natasha like anything. He tells her that he will make her fall in love with him by the end of the day. Now, it might feel very cliche, itni contrasting personalities, falling in love in just one day. But trust me, it is not. It is one of the most organic love stories that you could ever read about. The whole book happens in the span of one day because by the end of the day, Natasha is being deported back to Jamaica. And Daniel promises that he will make her fall in love with him by the end of the day. Now, the good part is how that happens, how he makes her fall in love. It is a beautiful, a magical read, and you will fall in love with reading when you will read this book. The best part about this book is, first of all, it is written in both Natasha's and Daniel's perspective, which, by the way, I love like anything. I really like when, I can read both the characters falling in love with each other as opposed to just one. And that is not the best part yet. The best part is there are supporting characters and उनके perspectives book में बताए गए हैं. Like, there are chapters which have stories about Natasha's father or the security guard or the lawyer that they go to. And we might think कि इनकी stories क्यों दे रखी है? Like, why do we have to read about them? But when you read the whole thing, when you read the whole book, it all comes together. And it is the most wholesome thing ever. It is a beautiful book, and there are chapters that talk about the chemical history of love. There are chapters that talk about quantum physics. There are chapters that talk about the universe and fate and destiny. And if that is not magical to you, I don't know what will be. It is a wholesome read, and you should definitely read it. Moving on to the second read of 2021. Are you someone who loves adventure? Are you someone who craves that adrenaline rush? Are you someone who would trust their friends with your life? Well, the book or the book series that I am talking about is Percy Jackson. Now, whenever I read books like Percy Jackson, मैं हमेशा सोचती हूँ कि यार मैंने ये books तब क्यों नहीं पढ़ी जब मैं 12 या 13 years की थी. I really regret not reading books like these earlier. अब ऐसा कहते हैं कि the ideal age to read these books is 12 to 14 years, but I really don't think so. If you are someone who enjoys adventure, if you are someone who enjoys reading fantasy fiction, if you are someone who enjoys a good adrenaline rush, a good funny book, you would love these books even if you are 25. This book is about Percy Jackson, of course. He finds out when he is 12 years old that he is not a normal kid. He is a half blood, half human, which basically means that he is the son of a god. Now, if you are a 12-year-old, let me tell you, you would not be the most thrilled to find that out. Obviously, his life is turned around, and there are monsters that are coming after him to kill him. Now, this is such a fast paced, adventurous, funny, witty book because Rick Riordan's writing is hilarious. It's witty, it's sarcastic. There are so many laugh out loud moments. There are moments that will give you goosebumps. There are moments that will make you believe in friendships because friendship is one of the most important emphasis in this book. So they are half bloods, and like all the half bloods are sent to a mysterious camp half blood जहाँ पे उन्हें train किया जाता है to fight monsters, to take care of themselves, to learn sword fighting, and it is really good. You know, reading about all of that makes you want to go not on a summer camp but at camp half blood for your holidays. But it's so good, man. It is so good. I am gonna keep it back because my hands hurt, and then we'll talk about these books more. Now, Percy Jackson has one of the biggest fandoms ever, and rightly so. Trust me, it's totally worth the hype. And if you have read it, do tell me what you think about it. I have read the first 4 parts. I am yet to read the last part, which I also know is the most exciting. And these books I received as a gift on my birthday, which I am really grateful and happy about. It is one of the best gifts that I could ever get. And I have heard that the next series get even better, and I'm just wondering like what could be better than this. So I am really excited to read the next books. I want to read it in paperback, so I'll be waiting for the time when I can buy it. But until now, you have to read these books. I wish I could, read a passage out of it and tell you how funny and hilarious and good it is, but there will be no context. So I would recommend that you read it yourself and find it out. And trust me, after you read it, you won't feel alone. You will feel happy. You will feel that adrenaline rush. I don't know how many times I have told that, but it is amazing. You have to read it. Tell me, would you be thrilled if you were to know that vampires and werewolves and witches and ghosts really exist? I mean, after having read so much about them, after having watched so many shows about them, I am really hoping for it all to turn out true. I mean, is it normal? I would love to be friends with a vampire. Is it normal to think that? Tell me if you think that too, because I am really fascinated by them, and reading and watching about them doesn't make them look somehow that much scary. So anyway, the book, or again a book series that I am going to talk about next, which is also my next read of this year, is again a series that is so popular, Twilight. Now, I have heard so many mixed reviews about this. There are two extremes basically. There are people who absolutely love and breathe Twilight, and then there are people who think that it is very cliche, who think that it is hyped for no reason. Now I get it. I get both these extremes because I'm somewhere in the middle. I get why people just go gaga over it, and I get why people think that it is very cliche or very romantic. Now, talking about my experience reading this, I really enjoyed reading this book because it came at such a point in my life where I needed something like that. I needed a good romance, and it is a well written book, that I will say. It is written really nicely, it is a page turner, and I was hooked. I was hooked to these books. And if you are someone who enjoys very romantic books, if cliches don't make you cringe, if you like love story as a trope in books, you might like these books. I read just the three parts of this book, that is Twilight. I always forget the part of the second book. I think it's Breaking Dawn. And the third part, which is Eclipse. So I have read three books. Then I stopped reading and I didn't read the next two parts. I don't know if I'll be reading it because right now I don't feel the need to read so much romance. I am looking forward to adventure and fantasy fiction and supernatural, unusual stuff. So maybe I'll read it later on, but right now I'm not looking for it. But if that is something that interests you, or if you are a teenager, maybe you'll like it. If you are a grown up, maybe you wouldn't like it, because Twilight is very fairy tale kind of book, और जैसे जैसे हम बड़े होते हैं हमें पता चल जाता है कि okay, this stuff does not exist in real. Anyway, these are half of the books that I read this year. I decided to include the other half in a separate video, वरना वीडियो बहुत ही लंबा हो जाएगा. So I thought I will make another video for that. So there will be a part 2 of the rest of the books that I have read this year. But before that, I will be dropping a video where I will be talking to one hell of an inspiring woman. She has done a startup related to books, and she's a mother of two, and she is one hell of an inspiring lady. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like and comment what you liked about this video, what you did not like about this video, what you would like to see me doing, what kind of book related or any videos that you would like me to make, and I would love to know your thoughts. It was really nice talking to you, so I feel really happy and I hope you like this video. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. I am not good at this because this is the first time that I am doing this, but yes, I am happy and I hope you are too. Tell me what you are reading. Tell me what have you been enjoying lately, and we'll talk about it. Until then, see you, take care, and lots of love.